Hey everyone, Crystal Gamer here with another Sims 4 speed build. This one is really interesting. It's another challenge, but this is the most challenging challenge I have done to date. This is the no walls challenge. And so the objective here is exactly what it sounds like. You are not allowed to use walls. Now, obviously, you can see that I have some walls up because I'm using them as guides to put up dividers and mirrors and all sorts of other things. And I'm sure you've probably noticed that I have a whole ton of stuff out on this lot. And basically what I did before I started building was I went through my inventory of stuff and I pulled out anything that I thought I might be able to possibly use as wall material. And so that's why half my lot is filled with a whole bunch of stuff, because this is all stuff that I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll pull from this stuff, maybe I won't at this point. Now, interestingly enough, I'm going through all this work that I'm doing right here, and you'll see me put those little squares up all over the place, and I end up putting those up all over the place, but I end up changing this entire exterior, gets changed out. So this build was so cool because it was truly a challenge. I really didn't know where I was going with it to start. Here I'm trying to pull out furniture, trying to get an idea of, I don't know, about how much space I'm going to need, what kind of size I'm going to need for this place. One of the things that I decided when I pulled everything out and displayed it all there, one of the things that I decided I wanted to use was two of the different paintings, the black and white paintings, and I decided that this build was going to be predominantly black and white, maybe with some browns or something like that, browns, grays, a little bit, but predominantly black and white. I wanted almost the whole build to be black and white, and so I wanted to use those paintings. So I knew that, and I knew that I wanted the black and white. But that was about it. I tried for asymmetry and it wasn't working for me at all, which meant that we ended up with yet another house that's symmetrical in the front. I try so hard to get away from symmetry, and I don't know why, but symmetry appeals to my eye so much that I feel like I tend to use it too much just because it appeals to my eye so much. But I don't know. I guess we all have our own styles and our own thing. But nonetheless, as you can see here, I've just changed out the front. I ended up using those, I don't know, Zen spa things or whatever you call them, and I'm using the paintings on the other side. So those Zen spa things, they have light. And then I used those post things, the columns with the little band of light at the bottom. And now you see I'm using drapery that is also lit, and this ends up becoming the master bedroom, as you can probably gather. This is a master bedroom. It's only a one bedroom. I did a small build here. So it's kind of funny with what I ended up with, because the foyer, the front of the house, is lights. The Zen things with the sea looking thing on them or whatever, those are lights. The draperies are lights. Like, so much stuff. This stuff that I'm putting in right now, that has lights in it. I put mirrors behind it, and I did that on a lot of the build. I put mirrors behind on a lot of the build. But I used so much stuff that had lights that the fact that, like, you may not have even noticed, we have no windows. This build has no windows. I was going to put some in. I had an idea to put some in. There's a black divider with a hole. I was going to use that, but I said, you know what? I've got so much light going on, and this is just kind of so cool the way it is, that I'm not even going to add in any windows. And so I didn't. And that ends up working out with what I do with the exterior, what I decide to do with the exterior, and you guys will see that in a little bit. But if you notice here, this build was so interesting because the way I did this, and I don't know, everyone's approaching this differently, this no walls challenge, and the way I approached this is I basically ended up with like 3-4 layers per wall. So like this one here, I have a mirror layer, and then the light layer on this side, and then I have those those pieces that I used at the top, I put that in the perimeter all the way around, and it's like 4 levels deep or something. So that took a lot of time. So, but it looks good. At the end, it looks good. It is a little bit of a boxy build, but you know what? To the amount of, I don't know, I guess maybe you would say intricacy or something to just put all of this in and do these multiple layers. And I don't know, I had to be very committed to the build and to the size of the build. And usually you're normally working with regular Sims walls, and so you can move them in and out and how you want. And this year I didn't have quite that flexibility, so this was kind of interesting. I really liked this challenge, and I love this house. I love what I created at the end of this. And it is, if you're interested, it is a playable house. It's completely playable, even though it doesn't use the wall tool. You can still see in it. I used a regular roof so that all you need to do is click on the first floor and you're golden. You can still play it fine. Obviously, you can't make the walls disappear because the walls are all things, but you can see perfectly fine from the top. Plenty enough to play it if anyone wants to play it. And I love the way the build looks at the end. You all saw the pictures in the beginning of the video. It's a beautiful build at the end. It's nice and modern. I ended up using a pool in the backyard, which is something that I haven't used a pool in a build in a long time. And I don't know, this one I just felt really called for a pool. I wanted a pretty clean exterior. I wanted a lot of pavement in the exterior. I thought a pool would work for that. Because it is a pretty modern build. You'll notice at the end though, like, for me, I really like the overhead views of it, but when I get down into the rooms and I do the screenshots, the colors and because it's all done with dividers and not walls, to me it ended up being a little bit busy. I don't know if you guys will think that or not, but for me it just ended up being a little bit busy. There's a lot going on with this many layers of wall, but it's still cool. Like, it's busy but cool, I think. I don't know. I'm interested to see what you guys think. This is definitely, absolutely the most like intricate build I've done as far as just the amount of pieces and the amount of time having to, not being able to use the walls and everything. So just a really, really interesting build. Definitely a really interesting build. And some time and thought went into what I was going to do here because, well, like you saw, I pulled all that stuff out just because I had no idea where I was going with it. Like, I've seen a couple of the other people's takes on it. Like, Simprove had a really cool take on it where she did this like boathouse thing and everything. So, and I've seen a couple of different people and everyone's take on it is something totally different. And yeah, mine is the same thing, but I didn't know where I was going with it when I started. I just kind of figured it out as I went. And see, now I have those 3 paintings there, and I wanted the softer paintings on this side, and you'll notice that I do an office space on the other side, and that has the black and white painting that, I don't know, it looks more city-ish or something. It fits better for an office. But those paintings I think are kind of cool, and behind each painting is a set of mirrors, and then of course the Zen thing, and then you'll see I put an exterior layer even beyond that makes the exterior, I think, look even better. Hope you guys think so too. We'll see. Really kind of wanted to use those white, I don't know, paintings or whatever they are there, but when I put them up on the wall and I put them in, I didn't like the way they were sitting. They were not making me happy with the way they were sitting, so I ended up changing it out and using these instead, and I really like those small square tiles. I like that look, and I do it for the whole bathroom, and I think it's a really nice look. It's a really modern look. Definitely a little bit on the busy side on the pictures, but I don't know, it looks really good to me. I love those modern square tile things. I just used that, I swear to God, I used that in another bathroom in another build recently. Same idea with those squares. You find something you like and you end up kind of, using it, I guess, a few times. I try to not overuse too much stuff because I want variety, you know, but some things you just get to like. So this here, yeah, I used the same thing there. As you can see, I used those Zen things with the C, and I was able to put the squares over them, so we still have some light shining through. Those squares with the C's, or whatever they are, those little Zen squares, they end up giving off light for the whole property, and at night, the whole place looks really cool at night because just everything's lit up all over the place. A lot of times I like the evening looks more than anything else, especially if you can get some good lighting in there, you know. I'm a photographer too in my regular, you know, outside of computer gaming, and so I'm always looking for good lighting. Good lighting, good angles, all that stuff. So I use some more drapery back here too. So it gives the illusion of having some windows, but I don't know. It's stuff from the Glamour set, but I thought I could get away with it. You know, it just kind of goes with the whole modern vibe and everything. And I thought I could get away with using that stuff, that drapery, okay, even though you would typically expect it to be something in a more formal atmosphere, I think. But I don't know. I just felt it kind of worked all right, and it looked good, so I went with it. And this part here's my worky part. And I spent so much time lifting these little squares up all over the place, but it's worth it. At the end, it's definitely worth it because it all really looks good and fits together. And honestly, it looks like I used walls in the house, I think. It kind of looks like I used walls, and I did not. I stuck with the rules. I didn't even use fencing. I didn't think we could use fencing either, so I didn't use fencing. I used those, for basically the fence around the pool that I create, I used those, what do you call them, those hedge dividers or whatever. I think they came with, maybe the city pack or maybe the dining out pack. I can't remember, but you guys will see those in a bit. They look pretty cool going around the yard. They work pretty well in lieu of fencing. And so this, to me, is part of what really makes the build, is that change there. It just, I don't know, it just looks so much better to me with the lines going through. And you can see the light coming through still, and I don't know, I just really like that slatted look a lot more, and it gave it an even more of a modern feel, I think. And I love the black and white interior. I feel like the black and white interior just really worked. Outside of like what I said with the artwork on the walls, it's really cool, but with the photography, it definitely gets a little bit busy because the thing is, really, like I said, I'm a photographer outside of this stuff, and the thing is we don't have the capability to control blur with the camera. And so because we're doing stuff like using dividers instead of walls, you can kind of see through that stuff all over the place, and I don't know, it would be better if it functioned more like a real camera, so you had some background blur and you could, you know, target the viewer's eye where you want the viewer's eye to go. But that's okay. It's all good. I really wanted to get a bar in there, so I had to do it with the globe. I wish that globe came in black and white, better colors. But there were a few things. I wanted to get a few like skilling things in here. I wanted to make sure that I had a computer, that I had a bookcase. I wanted a bar. I wanted an instrument or two, and I ended up getting the keyboard and a guitar in here. I end up with a chess table as well out back, so I wanted to check a good amount of skilling boxes to be able to make this a good playable build, you know, and I do think it's a really good playable build. Just if you want to add on to it, you probably want to add on to it with walls just to make your life easier. Could always add a second floor and just have that be normal, you know, if you had a bigger sim family or something like that, because this here is just 1 bedroom, 1 bath, so it's small right now, but I mean, you could easily throw a 2nd floor on it. And it would still be playable either way, because as you can see, we can see down into it plenty enough to play it. It's really easy to see into to play it. And here I go into back a little bit. And I wanted to do a pool, and I actually paused my build for a little bit because I wanted to find out the rules. I was like, all right, well, wait a minute. Can I do a fence? Can I not do a fence? Can I do a pool? Are there any other rules that I need to know about? You know, because the last challenge, I started the last challenge before I found out the rules, and that was the solid color challenge. And so I just chose a color and started the challenge, and I found out after I was like 3/4 of the way done that, oh yeah, you have to be assigned a color. So I didn't kind of want that sort of deal on this challenge again. I kind of wanted to know what the rules were before I broke them. I like that little roof in the back too. It's a little bit of a different kind of roof back there, and I kind of dig it. I like it. And I bring it out to give us a little bit of an overhang, and I do create the pool, so there's plenty of area that, you know, is sunny area, but I thought it might be nice to have a little bit of a kind of area where you're a little bit protected from the sun as well. And here comes our pool, which is really making me want the summer. I'm done with the winter. Although I can't complain too much. We actually had really good weather today. It was oddly humid. It's like February and it was humid. Gotta love that. So yeah, this hedging works pretty cool. I'm not sure which pack it's from, but oh, I might be able to see it there. One of the ones that has the green. It's a little bit small, so I can't see it, but yeah, that hedging worked out pretty well for, you know, in lieu of fence. It really did a nice job because it kind of looks like the hedging fence. So I was pretty happy with that. And I gave them a high diving board. I wish we had better diving boards though. Like we used to have the normal diving board in the old Sims. And that was nice. I liked that. Here comes our little chess table. And a little bit of landscaping. I don't think I got all the front landscaping on video. For some reason, I feel like I did it again. Every once in a while, I accidentally think that I hit the video thing and I don't hit it, and I don't know how I do that, but every once in a while I miss and I don't record some stuff, and this time I think I missed some of the not post landscaping, but like the end landscaping, which is mostly in the front, but it wasn't too much. You guys will see what it all looks like. But really interesting build. As far as the challenge, that really interesting, definitely my most interesting challenge to date. I enjoyed this build a lot because of it. I'm really proud of this build because of it, because there's a lot that went into it. You know, 3-4 layers for every wall, and for it to come out looking as cool as it came out looking, I'm just really, really happy with it. Definitely digging it. And this one here, I think I might play this one a little bit. Because this one is definitely, like I say, it's definitely an easily playable home, and I think it'd be a nice home for the Sims to live in. So I may even end up playing it. Gets just a little bit of inside final stuff. I did a lot of the decor stuff off camera. The decor and the landscaping, most of it ends up being off camera, but this was just a little bit of finalization. Yeah, and I used that flower there too. I thought that would be, you know, add a little bit of light, and it does. It does a good job in that room. And now we're off to our final wrap up cinematic screenshot portion of the program. And so I want to take an opportunity to thank you very much for spending the time with me and watching. I appreciate it a lot. And if you liked what you saw here, please don't hesitate to hit that like button, and even more importantly, the subscribe. Support my channel so I can keep going with this. I'd appreciate it so much. Thanks a lot. Bye now.